I believe this year it was 800 students just on the wait list for on-campus housing. They're bringing more and more students in every year, but they're not providing them with the minimal comfort that they require.
We've heard from students like Hadia who say the struggle to find affordable housing is so bad they've been at risk of homelessness. Many universities and colleges in Canada don't have the space to house the number of students they're enrolling. That's pushing more students into housing markets where they're competing with other renters as they search for off-campus options. Take this University of Guelph student. She says she's paying $840 a month for one room with water damage in a house shared with 6 other students. There was even a Reddit thread dedicated to warning students not to attend school in Guelph, Ontario unless they were planning to commute. Rents have also increased dramatically in places like Victoria, Calgary, Halifax, and Charlottetown. The situation can be even more precarious for international students, who typically pay tuition that's 4 to 5 times higher than domestic students.
You find lots of international students in shelters. You find them sleeping in post-secondary buildings, sleeping in their cars. There's a lot of hidden homelessness.
More than 500,000 international study permits were issued in Canada last year. That's a 75% increase from just 5 years ago. Right now, there's no cap on that number and no requirement for schools to build housing for those students to live in. But the federal government is considering changing that. For the 2017 to 2018 school year, it's estimated that international students paid almost 40% of all tuition fees for Canadian universities. That's almost $4 billion in annual revenue. Some immigration and housing experts say schools should change how they're spending some of that money.
International students are bringing in a lot of revenue for the post-secondary institutions, particularly the colleges. Some of that revenue should be allocated to building affordable housing.
Some schools are building new residence buildings, but not fast enough to keep up with demand. We reached out to dozens of colleges and universities who say they're aware of the issue. The University of Calgary says it's trying to help students find places to stay off campus. It's appealing to the local community to consider renting out spare bedrooms. The University of Guelph is using a local hotel to house 160 students for the next 3 years. Some schools say they need more support from the federal government to get enough housing built because of high interest rates and construction costs. We also want to know what your experience has been with student housing. Let us know in the comments.